Live at an electric Chicago stadium, the Bulls are receiving their rings. Let's go back to Johnny Kerr.
Your starting lineup, Horace Grant. Scotty Pippen. I'd like to bring out the co-captains of the Bulls for a brief word, Bill Cartwright and Michael Jordan. Please join me. Billy?
We as players just want to thank you fans for inspiring us to the 35 home victories last year, the 15 playoff victories, and we know you're going to inspire us to get right back where we are this year with another championship.
Well, I don't think I can say anything different from Bill Cartwright, but as a member of this team and an organization in the city of Chicago for 7 years, it brings me great joy to say we are the world champions. Thank you.
All right, the Bulls will now together hoist the banner that will signify the Bulls are the world champions of 1991 in the NBA. the end of a great season of memories. But in a few minutes, the Bulls will try to make the 92 season even better. Thank you. Good night.
Opening night in Chicago, the 76ers and the Bulls. Tip-off is right around the corner. Stay with us on TNC. Built in 1929, the second oldest arena in the NBA, Chicago Stadium. And inside, underneath the World Championship banner, they have squeezed 18,000 people in as the Chicago Bulls open up the 1991-92 season against the Philadelphia 76ers. Hello again, everybody. I'm Ron Thulin. Glad you can be with us for the NBA on TNT again this year. And joining me throughout the season again will be Doug Collins. Doug, the atmosphere, to say the least, is electric. But Philadelphia head coach Jim Lynam did the smart thing. He kept his team in the locker room during all the ceremony.
Well, I think that's a smart thing. You sit out here and you watch the ceremony, you get all excited, and you burn a lot of nervous energy off over there. And the first quarter is going to be a very important time for this Philadelphia team. Chicago is a notoriously strong first quarter team. They want to come and jump on you early. Philadelphia is going to have to execute. They're going to have to take the emotion as much as they can away from this crowd, keep themselves in the ball game in the first quarter, not let it get out of hand.
Well, the last 2 years, as far as Philadelphia is concerned, we have heard they needed a center. They went and got Manute Bol. This year, they got Shackelford. Both are injured. Both will not play, and it's a completely different lineup than took the floor last year opening game against Chicago.
Well, last year at TNT, we came in here. The Chicago Bulls lost their first 3 games. Look at the Philadelphia team last year. Barkley is a small forward. Rick Mahorn, Mike Jaminski, Hawkins, and Dawkins. Tonight, Ron Anderson will be in the starting lineup, so he will not be coming off the bench in his 6-man role. He'll be matched up against Pippen. Barkley will be matched up against Grant. Gilliam against Bill Cartwright. I think it's going to be very, very important when you play the Chicago Bulls that you try to get the ball inside. I think Gilliam has a chance to score inside against Bill Cartwright. You've got to go inside to Charles Barkley. If you launch a lot of quick jump shots, Pippen and Jordan will be releasing, and this will be a dunk contest.
Well, the first 5 minutes of this game, no question about it, will be very important for the Philadelphia 76ers as the Chicago Bulls look to join Detroit and Los Angeles as the only franchises to win consecutive NBA titles in the last 2 decades. We'll have the tip-off coming up in a moment.
Tonight's NBA game is brought to you by Budweiser with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by Jeep and Eagle, official vehicles of the NBA.
So I'm doing my sound check.
Hello, hello, hello.
And I hear this woman's voice.
Watch that last chord. I'll show you.
She grabbed the guitar. And then she started rocking. No, I mean rocking.
You're pretty good.
Someone that hot deserves something this cold. Suddenly, I remember this was a Bud spot.
I like your style.
Well, here it is, gentlemen. Top of the world. Now, I put my camera here. Your vehicle would face out over the cliffs. What do you think? Look, if you plan to claim your vehicle's as good as a Jeep, you really need this shot in your commercial. How are we going to get our vehicle up here?
Helicopter.
We'll lift it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Great.
Go down and make some calls.
Same thing. It's going to be a great commercial.
Indianapolis, Daytona, Talladega, Pomona, Baja. Why do we go to such distant places to put Craftsman tools to the test? If you're going to guarantee a tool forever, it's got to take the torture even guys like you dish out. 1,600 Craftsman hand tools, made in America, guaranteed forever, only at Sears. Besides, this kind of testing is fun.
You gotta agree, pizza or cheeseburger?
Domino's, just what you want.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
Domino's Pizza's Bacon Cheeseburger Pizza Feast. A medium pizza piled high with ground beef, bacon, and an extra layer of cheese.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
We don't make your pizza till you make your call. So call for a Bacon Cheeseburger Pizza Feast. Now just $8.99, 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's. How you like pizza at home?
TNT doubleheader. The Celtics fly south to feel the heat.
Yow!
Then David Robinson and the Spurs check out Denver's #1 draft pick.
Take notes, son.
Double Trouble. Tuesday at 8 on TNT.
Bigger than life.
The NFL on TNT. The NBA on TNT. And for the first time on cable, the 1992 Winter Olympics. Nobody plays sports like TNT.
Back in Chicago Stadium, here's tonight's Jeep Eagles starting lineups for the 76ers. It'll be Barkley, Anderson, Armand Gilliam has to move over to the center position. Hawkins and Dawkins at the guards. And for the Bulls, the same starting 5 of last year. Pippen, Grant, Cartwright, Jordan, and John Paxson. And we are set to get underway. Charles Barkley, in fact, we just saw him walk out for the first time. And Doug, you said how lean he looks.
Charles looks in great shape. And, you know, that's one thing I think we need to talk a little about here to start the game, Ron, is a lot of times conditioning in early part of the season is not where you want it to be because in exhibition you don't get your normal minutes. So we'll have to watch to see if there are early substitutions tonight. And I think also something else to look at. Will the Chicago Bulls try to go in the post with Michael Jordan early against Hersey Hawkins to get him out of the game? I think they feel that's a real key. Hersey Hawkins and Michael Jordan. Let's see if they put Michael in the post early.
In case you're wondering, those are new uniforms by the Philadelphia 76ers. As Dick Pavetta, Bill Sarr, and Blaine Reichelt will be officiating. Charles Barkley says it looks like his daughter colored him with crayons. But nevertheless, they came in today. Tony Harris, the trainer of Philadelphia, sweating it a little bit, I think. But the unis are in, and we are tipped off for the 1991-92 season here on TNT. Bulls 35-6 last year here in Chicago Stadium, and in that time they had a 26-game home win streak. First turnover in the contest.
We'll keep our eyes on the turnovers. Chicago lives with the turnover. They love to get out and run off fast breaks with their turnovers.
Jimmy Lynam says they've got to keep it to about 15 if they expect to stay in this ball game as far as turnover.
Jump ball.
Bulls will have it. And we'll jump it up. Hersey Hawkins, Michael Jordan. Jordan doing a little house cleaning underneath. And now Dick Pavetta says, wait a minute. We're going to try something else. Moving Armand Gilliam over. And we're underway. Michael's keeping it alive. That's a way to cover the passing lanes by Hersey Hawkins. They give him an opening. He takes it. Oh, monster slam by Charles Barkley. That'll take the crowd out of the game.
Well, here's a fast break retaliation by Chicago, though. You cannot celebrate, Ron. You've got to get back defensively. I think a real key for Chicago also, they like to get Horace Grant off early. When he does score early in the first quarter, his defense is better, his rebounding is better, so they like to get him out with a big first quarter. See the double-teaming big with Cartwright against Barkley.
Barkley just goes up with the left hand. He has 4. The 76ers have 4.
It's going to be tough because Horace Grant's going to release when Barkley shoots, so someone's going to have to cover back. There might be a lot of cross matches tonight on the fast break.
Grant again against Barkley for an easy 2, so it's the Barkley and Grant show early on. Horace Grant, who's had a back strain early in the exhibition season, recovered from that. Hawkins uses the left arm. Michael Jordan whistled for the foul. That's his first.
Twice you've seen Hersey Hawkins now take the ball to the basket off the dribble. Early in his career, did not get to the free throw line very much. Shot a lot of three-point shots, a lot of perimeter jumpers. Now has developed his game where he will take the ball to the basket, put pressure on the defender now to play him both on the drive and with the jump shot.
And he's been rewarded with a new contract because of that play. Grant giving Barkley the shot. Takes it, drains it, looks at the crowd and says something to him. Charles is in midseason form. Pippen goes hard, and they're going to say Ron Anderson stuck out the foot.
Personal foul, number 20, Ron Anderson is first, the team's first.
When you play Scottie Pippen, you have to be so aware. He's a forward and that plays like a big guard. He's always putting the pressure on you, Ron. You've got to now respect his jump shot, which has totally opened up the rest of his game. That's 2 turnovers though early by Scottie.
Anderson caused it. Dawkins splits the triple team, goes up with the left hand, draws the foul. 6-4 is our score. Philadelphia on top. 9:40 remaining in the first period as Horace Grant has whistled for his first second team foul.
That's where you see whether Johnny Dawkins is going to recover from that knee surgery or not. He was a slashing player that liked to get in the lane, Ron, not live just with a jump shot, but be able to fake the little jump shot, get into the lane. That's a nice sign there. He did that with authority, went up strong, got fouled. Although he did not make the basket, he did earn 2 free throws.
November 8th at Milwaukee, a complete tear in his anterior cruciate ligament, which usually means you've got some problems.
Well, that's just a horrible injury for a basketball player because of the pivoting and shifting and change of direction that you have to do, and it looks like he's made a pretty good recovery right now.
Dawkins' trademark was being able to stop on a dime and pop a 15-footer. Pippen stops on a dime and grabs the 18-footer.
You still got to make him make that shot, though. You don't want to let him get to the middle. And I'm sure Ron Anderson was a little upset that Scotty hit that shot, but that's the one you've got to make Pippen make.
76ers by 1, 9-10 in the first. Pippen strips Dawkins, and he'll come up with it. Paxson also a new contract. Bulls rewarded their players. Cartwright, Paxson, Pippen. All with some extra dollars. Good job by Ron Anderson, tipping the ball away from Bill Cartwright. Anderson played in all 82 games last year as Hersey Hawkins takes it strong, doesn't get it.
Philadelphia needs a good possession right now. Fast break, crowd into the ball game, bring it down, use some time off the clock, execute, get yourself a good shot. Don't get into a run-shoot game right now with Chicago. You'll lose in that kind of game.
Oh, this time Hersey Hawkins takes it strong with the finger roll and gets it. Check out was Anderson. Jordan's first field goal of 1991.
Great pass. Great pass. Johnny Dawkins ahead to Charles Barkley. Horace Grant did not have vision on the ball. Saw the man but did not see the basketball right on the top of his head for an easy 2 points.
Barkley with 8 first-quarter points. Cartwright the off-balance shot. Gilliam tips it to Barkley.
Look for Gilliam here running the floor. They might be able to gain the basketball.
There he is.
So you got to take the easy baskets away defensively. That's what kills you when you give away the dunks and the layups. Then the outside jumpers start to go. Philadelphia 5 easy baskets here.
The dunk contest right now is Pippen now with 4. '76ers by 1, 7-15. Both teams shooting effectively. Philadelphia 6 of 8, Chicago 6 of 9.
That's not a good shot by Armin Gilliam.
That was an ugly shot by Armin Gilliam. Jim Lanham says he needs more production out of Gilliam, but I don't think he had that in mind.
The one thing you look at Philadelphia right now, though, with Shackelford and Manute Bol being out of the game, they're very lean along the front line. They don't have many big bodies to put in the game. So if you're Chicago, you want to go inside against Gilliam, wear those guys down during the course of the game.
Right, can't get it to go. Big monster rebound. He walked with it. Just want to mention that Manute Bol has 18 stitches in the hand. He is out. Shackelford has an ankle injury, and we've got a timeout. 6:45 remain to be played in quarter number 1. 76ers over the Bulls by 1.
TNT doubleheader. The Celtics fly south to feel the heat. Yow! Then David Robinson and the Spurs check out Denver's #1 draft pick.
Take notes, son.
Double Trouble. Tuesday at 8 on TNT. Bigger than life.
So what do you think about that newly designed Eagle Talon?
You'd never catch me in a car like this.
But Talon does 0 to 60 faster than Nissan 240 SX.
Like I said.
Look, I'm the one who got the cash back on this Eagle Talon.
Yeah, but I'm the one who told you about the deal. Guys, what's $500 between friends?
$250 apiece.
Who's on top in college football? Get the first look at the USA Today CNN Top 25. This week, Colorado coach Bill McCartney recaps this week's games on College Coach's Corner, 11 a.m. Eastern, Sunday.
Sixers lead 13-12. Strong drive by Hersey Hawkins. He's going to miss the drive, but Cartwright has to help out. No one blocks out Charles Barkley. Here he comes for the slam dunk. Very positive sign. 6 field goals by the 76ers are in the first period, all by their front line players. So very active. You know Hersey Hawkins and Johnny Dawkins will get some shots if the front line continues to produce.
Philadelphia finished 4-4 in the preseason. Chicago coming off their second best preseason ever.
There's Michael in the post. This is what I thought you were going to see. Hawkins can't handle him down there. Really puts a problem. Now you're going to have to double team and it distorts your whole defense. So we see coming right out of a timeout, Michael Jordan into the post.
And with Philadelphia's small backcourt, that forces them to be a little more active defensively. Now you put Jordan down, that complicates the problem.
Well, you're going to have to come down double team because Hawkins can't handle him alone.
Gilliam throws it right into Scottie Pippen's chest. Great pass, Pippen to Paxson.
John Paxson has 2 field goals. You expect them to be spot-up jump shots. They're driving layups. 2 easy baskets for Paxson, both off steals, passes from Scottie Pippen.
Bulls by 3. That's their biggest.
There's a double up. They're doubling big with Cartwright.
Shot clock at 4 and the 3 on the way. Won't go down by Anderson. He says he got hit in the head.
Here comes Pippen again.
That's what he does best. Slashes down the middle. Ball belongs to Chicago.
This is Chicago at its best right here. Scottie Pippen playing the passing lane. Now in the middle of the floor. Gets it perfectly in the middle of the floor so the lanes now can be filled. See a nice bounce pass to John Paxson running the lane nicely for an easy 2-point.
Cartwright banging into Anderson. Anderson giving away a lot of inches. 3 on the way. Pippen can't get it. Philadelphia with a 4-on-3 if they hustle. Gilliam loses the handle to Barkley with another slam. Barkley in double figures with 10. He's 5 of 5.
I think that ball was slick, Ron. There's been a lot of mishandled passes. I don't know if it's a new basketball they're using, but I guess with the sweating and all early here in the season, that the ball is slick. Guys mishandling it.
Cartwright shot off the mark. Gilliam with the rebound. And then he throws it away. His second turnover. Paxson, his 3rd drive. Don't be surprised if Jason Williams gets up for Philadelphia and replaces Armand Gilliam.
That's what you're going to see. Jason Williams. Jimmy Lynam is not going to hesitate. Armand Gilliam with 3 turnovers that have all led to easy baskets.
Armand playing with a sore shoulder, and he says it's getting progressively worse.
That's not a very positive sign for the first game of the year.
No. Dawkins, the southpaw, hits it.
Johnny Dawkins, if he can keep his leg getting stronger as the season goes along, will get better as the year goes on with his confidence. Right now, every day is a new day for him, learning to play with that new leg.
Shot 63% of the first 4 games last year. Horace Grant now with 6. Philadelphia getting back quick offensively and an excellent defensive effort by Paxson.
The one thing I see here early from Johnny Dawkins used to explode the ball up the floor with the dribble. Now he's advancing it a lot with the pass, which lets you know he's not yet where he wants to be. Again, I think as the season progresses, you're going to see Johnny Dawkins get better and better if he can keep that leg healthy.
Barkley talking to the crowd in the first row just to our right.
My word.
Michael says, here, Charles. Pippen loses the handle.
That ball is slick, I'm telling you. I mean, that's an up and down right there, Ron. The ball slipped out of his hand. When it does that, you cannot get it back. It's actually called an air dribble. It's a walking violation.
Well, Philadelphia was in the bottom 4 in rebounding last year, despite the fact Charles Barkley averaged better than 10 boards a contest, and they're having problems coming down with it now. They got a call that helped them out. Good look inside. Anderson in the reverse.
Well, again, vision on the basketball. It's got to be ball you man principle. Scottie Pippen did not see the basketball. Again, an easy layup for Ron Anderson.
Michael has to kick it back out. Shot clock at 12.
Horace Grant's got up to a very fine first quarter, 6 points. You can see they're going to Cartwright, and Bill has not been able to deliver here in the first quarter. I'm not so sure Bill is in very good shape right now. He has not played much in the preseason. They're trying to be able to get him through the year, trying to preserve his legs as we see Phil Jackson. And what happens early, you don't have your timing.
And Jason Williams, number 55, the former first-round pick of Phoenix in '90, couldn't come to an agreement. Shipped over to Philadelphia out of St. John's. Had an excellent preseason. Been lining very high on this young man.
We got a cross match now. We have Barkley playing Cartwright, and we got Horace Grant against Jason Williams. We're going to go right to the mismatch and Horace Grant.
Grant double teamed by Hawkins. Gets into Michael, goes up, ball swatted away, but we have a foul. And we've got a timeout. 2:42 remaining in the first. It's a good one so far. The Bulls on top of the 76ers by 1.
A high-output 4-liter engine. Anti-lock brakes. And shift-on-the-fly full-time 4-wheel drive. Make Jeep Cherokee the ultimate vehicle for the hustle and bustle of everyday life.
Now drive for the gold and save $1,000 on new Jeep Cherokee.
My father's my hero. He's a special person. He taught us to work hard in school, and to respect all people, and to love Columbus.
The accident that almost took his life made him an even better person and made us an even closer family.
Our father is Ben Espy. He's running for mayor to make a difference. He's made a difference in our lives.
Ben Espy for mayor. He'll make a difference.
A lot of our clients' lives, future lives, are really on the line.
We want the jury to understand the client's feelings.
The jury has to understand what the client has been through, and that's the trial lawyer's job to accomplish that.
Wolski and Blue have the experience to represent your medical negligence or auto accident injury claim. Call the law firm of Wolski and Blue at 228-6969.
Graceful, two adjectives that describe Charles Barkley. There's Horace Grant bumping right off him. Here comes Pippen, but also Mr. Grace coming from the other side of the floor, Michael Jordan, to swat the shot away. Looked like an easy layup. So what happens now? Here comes some power from Michael Jordan, and who comes over but Charles Barkley to repay the favor. Unfortunately, foul on Hersey Hawkins. Michael Jordan will shoot 2 free throws.
That foul was on Hawkins, as you mentioned. Mitchell Wiggins is checked into the lineup for Philadelphia, wearing number 23. This is the 4th year for this starting lineup for the Chicago Bulls. No other team in the NBA has gone more than 2 years with the starting lineup intact, and that shows you a little bit of consistency in the fact, the continuity, what it does for a team.
Well, I think what it shows you is that a team gets confidence playing with each other. This Chicago starting 5 is a very, very confident team. And what you're going to see as we see Phil Jackson there is the second unit is now stabilized by Scottie Pippen. So Scottie Pippen has come in, and now we see full court pressure, and he will play with the second unit to stabilize that and make that a more powerful team.
Slapped out by Grant. Jason Williams did the smart thing. We saw in the Hall of Fame game how Miami stood underneath the backboard when they were bringing the ball in. Doesn't give you enough time to any movement.
See, the thing I don't like about this right now is that Philadelphia has all 5 guys in the backcourt, which means the whole defense can come up to half court. You can't get the ball in, and you lose spacing. You've got to get some guys down the floor so you can pass the ball ahead. Again, the ball slipped right out of Johnny Dawkins' hand.
He saw Michael Jordan!
Chicago can change the course of a game with their pressure, full court defense. You see Johnny Dawkins took his eye off the ball. Michael gets the steal. John Paxson gives it right back to him. Beautiful give and go. Here's Ron Anderson. Michael almost jumped right over his head. So give me some of that tendonitis.
The reports about the tendonitis this week in an operation. Tendonitis this.
Yeah, really.
Well, Stacey King, the only Bull who was booed during the ring ceremony, checks into the lineup.
Now you'll see what's going to happen. You've got B.J. Armstrong in the game. You have Stacey King. You have 3 starters. As Phil starts to substitute, he'll probably come in with a Hodges and maybe a Cliff Livingston or Will Perdue. Michael will go out, and Scottie Pippen will stay on the floor normally with those guys. And it's a very, very tough lineup because you have 2 guys that can shoot.
Philadelphia already has 6 turnovers. That has led to 9 Chicago points. And the Bulls with their biggest lead of the game with 2:25 left.
I felt for Philadelphia to win this game, they couldn't turn it over more than 16 times. And right now, they're on par to turn it over well over 20. That will not be a winning night.
Jason Williams, the turnaround won't go. Gordon, who averaged 6 rebounds a game last year, pulls it down. Pippen takes it strong. He's hammered. That's Williams first.
So quickly the ball is advanced up the floor. Michael Jordan to B.J. Armstrong to Scottie Pippen. The speed they have on the floor right now with Stacey King playing as a center, Horace Grant, B.J. Armstrong, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan is so good that Philadelphia is really going to have to make a conscious effort, Ron. They've got to get back defensively and take away the early thrust of the Chicago offense, make them play in a half-court game. I don't think we've seen 4 possessions of half-court basketball by Chicago here in this first period.
Look at Scottie Pippen, whose shooting percentage has increased all 4 years, along with his points, his rebounds, his assists.
And his free throw shooting, which is very important because he's going to get to the line a lot.
6 straight points for Chicago. They lead it by 7. We're nearing the 2-minute mark of the first.
Oh.
Kenny Payne with the rebound. The shot doesn't go. Barkley touched it. Jimmy Lynam wanted a goaltending call.
You did the Miami game the other night in the Hall of Fame game. The Chicago was down 10, and in about a minute's period of time, they were down 1 with 3 steals, a free throw, and a tip-in off a missed free throw. That's how quickly they get ahead of you.
Stacey King, the right block. He likes to turn around, and he does. Doesn't get it.
Well, you think Stacey's got pressure on him right now. Every time he touches the ball, if he doesn't make the shot, he's going to hear the boos. What a difficult set of circumstances to try to play under.
I think one of the last games last year, you and I thought that he'd have a new address this year, is Mitchell Wiggins, who did not play last year, averaged 15 points the year before that with Houston. We thought he'd have a new address this season. Pippen double pumps. Williams hands it off to Dawkins.
Ron, we're going to talk a little about the substitution by Philadelphia. The action is so hectic right now. Mitchell Wiggins in the game early against Michael Jordan. Why? So when Michael sits down, Hawkins can play against his substitute, maybe get him off offensively.
The tip by Michael.
See, Hawkins has a very difficult time scoring against Michael Jordan. Michael has made it such an effort to keep him out of the ball game, so Jimmy Lynam has made that substitution for that reason.
Another sellout crowd at Chicago Stadium. Only 9 away from 200 consecutive. Barkley looking for point number 12, and he does.
Look at Horace Grant down the floor, though. Barkley's really having to work to get down the floor and get back with him.
Barkley had some injuries also during the preseason. None of the Philadelphia players have been all that healthy. Armstrong for 2. Grant with the rebound, the follow. Charles feeds off this crowd.
You need to get the last shot. They took it a little bit too quickly. Now Chicago's going to get last possession. Not a smart play.
And they've got a 2-on-2. Pippen around the second year. Payne got it.
Scottie Pippen is a great, great player now. Last year he was a good player and was getting better and better. He is now a great player. Watch this move in the open floor. You see him use the quickness, the crossover dribble. He hangs in the air, the long arms, and the opportunity for the three-point play. Now, what this does is it gives you a three-point play opportunity. If you get a steal, you could lose 5 points when you should have had the last shot of the quarter. That's what you have to do in manipulating the clock and using the clock late in the game and in the quarter.
6-point Bulls lead, 9.6 left in the first.
Can't get it in.
Dawkins splits the D. Barkley will let it fly for 3. Doesn't get it. Stacey King comes down with it as the horn sounds. Opening night, the first 12 minutes have been played. It was up and down. Sir Charles and the 76ers trail the Bulls 31-25. Quarter number 2 coming up.
A blood oath. It's evil. A diabolical curse. And Sherlock Holmes is on the case.
Quick, Watson, after him!
Charlton Heston, the Crucifer of Blood. A TNT exclusive premiere. Monday at 8 Eastern.
You gotta agree. Pizza or cheeseburger?
Domino's, just what you want.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
Domino's Pizza's Bacon Cheeseburger Pizza Feast. A medium pizza piled high with ground beef, bacon, and an extra layer of cheese.
Nobody knows like Domino's.
We don't make your pizza till you make your call. So call for a Bacon Cheeseburger Pizza Feast. Now just $8.99. 2 for $12.99.
Nobody knows like Domino's. How you like pizza at home?
Water. The RCA Home Theater has a VHP picture tube which makes it seem like you're really there. And you can connect your Laserdisc, stereo, VCR, or camcorder to it without being a rocket scientist. And with the RCA Home Theater, you can get rid of your other remotes, too, because it comes with Master Touch, the universal remote. Another way RCA is changing entertainment again.
Hi, I'm here in room 30 at a national motel chain and talking with a Mr.
Bill Byer?
Can you hear me all right, Bill?
Yes, sir.
Of course, if we were at a Red Roof Inn, we wouldn't be having this little chat.
Why is that?
Well, because Red Roof Inn's walls are made with 8 inches of solid masonry.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do.
For a quieter room at a lower price, hit the roof. Red Roof Inns. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF.
So what do you do for fun, Bill?
Well, I'm never far from the old accordion.
James Michener's epic tale of the taming of the American West. Centennial, 6 Sundays in a row, beginning Sunday at noon, only on TNT.
After one quarter, the Bulls lead the 76ers 31-25. We'd like to remind you immediately following this game, we've got another dandy on tap here on TNT. The Phoenix Suns with Kevin Johnson take on Ricky Pearson, the Seattle Supersonics. Pete Van Weeren, the Professor, and Hubie Brown are standing by for that. Will be immediately following our contest right here on TNT.
Ron, let's look at the lineups now. We see Philadelphia. Kenny Payne is in the ball game. We have Mitchell Wiggins, Theron Mays, Charles Barkley, Jason Williams. Chicago has their entire second unit in the game except Scottie Pippen. Remember, he's going to keep them, and he's going to be the stabilizer with this group. They're going to double team him, force him to give the ball up.
King swatted away by Barkley. That'll be goaltending.
And the sigh you heard was Stacey King saying, "Thank you, Charles."
Stacey changing his number from 34 to 21. He says last year is behind him. Somebody even said he changed it because anything with a 2, he doesn't want to be around Michael when fouls are called.
Now, Theron Mays is an exciting young player, a little bit erratic right now, but they expect a lot of good things from him.
He's a rookie free agent out of Florida State, played in the CBA last year where he averaged 25, and there's a young man with a great deal of potential.
Let's see how long Hersey Hawkins sits if he gets in the ball game here quickly to try to work against this unit.
Livingston. What a game 3 he had last year in the championship finals against the Lakers. Livingston leaning on Charles Barkley. Mays, the slasher, doesn't get it.
Now see, he's going after the basketball, and he's going to have numbers behind him. You can't chase your missed shot down. You've got to get back.
A 2 by Craig Hodges. Tell you what, he sits on the bench, comes in, boom, nails it right.
He did that in the Hall of Fame game the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And then Miami made a run, and he busts 2 outside jump shots. The game's over. He's an unbelievable weapon to come in off the bench with because he can play cold.
Payne, the 3rd-year pro, the spin move, turnaround jumper.
The one thing that happens, though, with the small backcourt is 2 bigger guys take advantage of him. And right now, Craig Hodges has to guard Mitchell Wiggins. They'll go in the post against him as they did the last time.
Hodges pulls the trigger again. Nothing but Nyland. Kenny Payne, an interesting story. He already has 4 points. He had the worst shooting percentage of anybody in the NBA with 400 minutes or more last year. Only 36%. But he's got a pretty shot. It just won't go down.
There's the post up again. Kenny Payne against Craig Hodges. He's taking him down there twice.
Barkley inside. That's an easy 2 for Charles with the left hand. Barkley now with 14 on 7 of 9 shooting, and the Bulls' lead is 8. Pippen. inside the paint. You can't let him get down that far. Ball belongs to Chicago. 7th Philadelphia turnover. So much for 15 or 16, Doug, unless they put the brakes on it real quickly.
The second unit of this Chicago team is giving their team a lift right now. Normally they come in and they try to hold the lead. Tonight they're expanding on it. And one thing you have to do if you're going to beat Chicago, you've got to get to their second unit.
BJ pulls the trigger.
Going to get a timeout here and talk about it. The matchups right now are not very good, and Chicago really taking advantage of it.
Philadelphia wants to talk about it, so Chicago, who was 0-2 against Philadelphia in the regular season last year, with 8:53 remaining in the second, they've opened up a 12-point advantage. We'll be back.
The traction control system of the Lexus LS400 helps reduce tire spin across rain, sleet, snow, even an occasional patch of ice.
I grew up in a crime-infested neighborhood. I've been assistant attorney general, neighborhood lawyer, and city councilman. I know we need more police and stiffer penalties, but a mayor should do more. As mayor, I will lead all efforts to pressure criminals, keep them disorganized and out of business before they touch our families. My message is this: if your business is crime, take your business someplace else.
Ben Espy for mayor.
With today's lineup of new cars, it's important to shop carefully and compare features like 24-hour roadside protection anytime, anywhere, courtesy transportation provided by your dealer, and a 30-day satisfaction guarantee that lets you bring your new car back for any reason. Only one line of cars has the edge on owner satisfaction, the Oldsmobile Edge, and it comes with every 1992 Olds. If you're looking for long-term satisfaction from your next new car, look for the Edge, the Oldsmobile Edge.
This is the importance of having good shooters on the floor. Scottie Pippen is going to take the ball to the middle of the floor. And as you see it, he starts to drive. Mitchell Wiggins starts to come over and give help. Now, he's so afraid of coming over and giving such great help because Craig Hodges has just hit 2 jump shots that he doesn't really help and he doesn't really guard Hodges. He does neither. And as a result, Scottie Pippen gets into the middle and gets the easy layup. You've got to get the ball out of his hands. And if you have to rotate up to take away the shot, but you can't give Scottie Pippen layups.
Well, Purdue has checked in for Chicago. Armin Gilliam has come back in for Philadelphia. Bulls already with 14 assists, and they were the team that was #1 in assist-to-turnover ratio last year.
Let's keep our eye on this team right now for Philadelphia. Barkley out of the game. Who's going to score?
Mays tried to take it inside to Purdue. He had the shot, couldn't get it to go. Stacey King tried to keep it alive.
Well, one thing I noticed about Theron Mays, he's very high on his dribble. He's going to have to bring that dribble down. Saw B.J. Armstrong's eyes get so big, he was going to try to go for the steal. Theron Mays did protect it and get the foul, but he's going to have to bring that dribble down playing against these little quick guards. There's Hersey Hawkins in the game against Hodges. That's the matchup they want. Let's see if they go right to that with him off the screen.
Armin Gilliam waiting for things to set up.
Going to a little motion passing game here.
Gilliam backs up Purdue. Fall away, turn around, and the hammer can't get it to go. Purdue on Gilliam. With the right hand, doesn't get it. Livingston hustling on the offensive board to Hodges.
The guy doesn't miss. The guy does not miss. You get an open shot. He's amazing.
You made an interesting comment last year, Doug, if I remember, said when you brought Hodges in, when he came here, he makes other people better shooters.
Well, because you challenge him in practice. Here's Hersey Hawkins trying to take it against Hodges.
14-point Bulls lead. That is their biggest. Hawkins way short.
Hersey Hawkins a little frustrated right now.
Well, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug and I will be selecting the Budweiser Player of the Game. It's coming up following the contest. Johnny Dawkins will come back into the lineup for Philadelphia. So the second unit of Chicago without Michael Jordan putting points on the board. Livingston again counted. Hodges. Oh. Must have been something on the ball.
See, Cliff Livingston has kept 3 balls alive. He's got 2 offensive rebounds, and he's tipped another one out. That gives your team another possession. And sometimes those things go unnoticed, Ron. They don't by coaches or people who pay attention to this game, but a lot of times by fans, you don't realize the guy's value just by his ability to keep the ball alive.
The scores from around the NBA will keep you posted. Of course, Ernie Johnson and Dick Versace, newest member of our TNT squad and TBS team. Halftime, bringing you highlights and scores. A 3 on the way. Nope. Chicago's got it.
That's a jump ball. That's a jump ball. Now in college, that would be a jump ball, the alternating possession.
Hawkins 0 of 4 now, Doug. Offensive rebounders. You're talking about Cliff Livingston making other scores. Chicago was 6 already. Philadelphia was just 1. Defensively, Philadelphia was in the top as far as rebounding. Last year, offensively, though, they weren't very good.
Philadelphia does not have much size right now. You see with Shackelford out and Manute Bol, you look at their front line. It's Armand Gilliam basically and Jason Williams. Both of those guys are not very big in NBA standards, and they're going to get beat on the front line right now. Jimmy Lynam knows that. He just has to wait until these guys get healthy and hope that they can beef up that front line for him.
Jordan's back in the game. Chicago picked up 8 points with Jordan out of the contest. Armstrong, the right-handed leader, drops. Armstrong now with 4. The lead is 16 with 6:28 left. Philadelphia needs to stop the bleeding here.
Nice move by Hersey Hawkins on the baseline. Beautiful drive. Jumper wasn't going. Tried to get an easy 2, and he got it done.
That's how you start. That's his first field goal of the game.
Livingston with a walk.
He traveled it. Too many steps for Cliff. He had the shot.
A couple little baby steps there.
Little tiny steps. That's his forte, though. You're talking about keeping the ball alive. He did it in Atlanta. If you get points from Cliff Livingston, that's gravy.
The good part about Cliff is at the stage of his career where he knows that, and he knows that he's much better off being on a championship team and giving them what he can give them than to try to be a prime-time player on a bad team, because really he's not that kind of player.
This nickname is Good News. The smile never leaves that man's face.
Ron Anderson, Hersey Hawkins both coming off down screens. Neither one could get freed.
Dawkins over the outstretched hands of B.J. Armstrong. Livingston another rebound. The outlet to Armstrong. Cliff with 5 rebounds already in the game. Averaged 2.9 last year. He's getting a lot of minutes too tonight.
But B.J.'s getting a lot of open jump shots, and he's burying them.
Armstrong has shot 48% last year, averaging 8.8 a contest, has 6 tonight.
I really feel for Johnny Dawkins. He was such a lightning quick player, and right now he's trying to learn to play with a new leg. And it is so frustrating, Ron, because guys start getting shots against you that used to not be able to do it, and it's very, very tough.
And he's not wearing any type of brace either, though. Most guys come back, they have some type of rubber wrap on him or something. He's playing without anything.
Well, he's ahead of schedule in his rehabilitation. That's what he has to keep telling himself. You know, not get frustrated. He's ahead of schedule.
Shot clock at 6. Purdue's turnaround. Out of the hands of Stacey King, out of bounds. Ball belongs to Philadelphia. Barkley checks back in, along with 3 of the starting 5 for Chicago. Pippen, Cartwright, and Grant. Livingston will get a nice hand as he'll take a well-deserved breather. Jason Williams sits down for Philadelphia. Opening game last year here in Chicago, Philadelphia defeated the Bulls as the Bulls lost their first 3 games of the season.
Another steal by Pippen.
Another turnover by Philadelphia. Showtime, folks.
That was not only explosive, but what a quick move to change direction. Smart play here by Jimmy Lynam. Get a timeout. Let's try to take this crowd out of the game. Bulls playing tremendous right now.
They've got their biggest lead of the ball game, an 18-point Chicago lead as Jordan has 12, 4:22 remaining in the half.
First person that makes a 3-point shot. Hey kids, so you've always wanted to be a sportscaster. Now's your chance, as Inside Stuff takes you to Sportscaster Camp. Learn how to stay awake during games, learn how not to put on TV makeup, and learn proper announcer fashion techniques. Also, it's a new NBA season, and that means a new season of the greatest dunks in Jam Session. Not your normal features, not your normal announcers, not your normal sports show. But then again, who wants normal? NBA Inside Stuff. Tomorrow, check your local listings.
3 years ago, we set out to create a sports sedan. But first and foremost, we set out to create a Lexus. Introducing the new Lexus ES 300 Sports Sedan.
I think the customers definitely sense the difference, not only in the company, but in us.
There is a definite pride in what we do and how we do it.
I mean, the employees own the company. You are Avis. I'm Avis.
If you've seen our roving rapid return now, you'll see that you don't even have to step out of the car before you're already checked in.
If you don't like the color of the car, if I have a different color car, I'll fix it.
We call over 1,500 customers a month just to see if they're satisfied.
There's a big sense of pride in owning a company.
So why rent from anyone but an owner?
Now it's time for the Avis Best Performances, and the best performances go to a couple of outstanding rookies that you'll be seeing on TNT this year. Mutombo of Denver, not bad preseason stats. And how about Steve Smith, the rookie out of Michigan State, averaged better than 12 points, 4-point assists. There are Avis Best Performances. Tonight's Best Performances presented by Avis. At Avis, we try harder, and you'll see both Mutombo and Smith Tuesday night here on TNT. In the first game, Smith will be taking on the Celtics. Game 2, it'll be Mutombo getting a lesson from David Robinson. Spurs take on Denver in Game 2.
How about Pippen, another steal?
And another turnover, deja vu, and another 2.
Let's talk about this game right now. Backcourt production. Philadelphia 3 for 10, 7 points. Chicago backcourt 14 for 19, 30 points. Rebounding in the second period. Chicago 8, Philadelphia 1. It all leads to a 20-point lead for the Chicago Bulls.
Philadelphia, if you've just joined us, playing without Shackelford and Bull. Both are injured. Hoping to have Shackelford back in the next week or 2. Brad picks up his second. If you look at Jim Lynam, begins his 4th full season. Second best winning percentage as a college coach at St. Joseph's. Believe it or not, the leader is Jack Ramsey, who's here tonight.
Well, people remember Jimmy Lynam here in the Chicago area. See the long jumper by Johnny Dawkins when they upset DePaul and his daughter ran across the floor with a big hug. I think that was in Dayton in the tournament. So they remember Jimmy Lynam a long time ago.
Hawkins tries to put up a hand, but to no avail is Cartwright in the books with his first 2.
Well, Chicago can do no wrong right now. Their defense is terrific. They've got balanced scoring. Pippen has been super. Michael Jordan right on down the line, and they're playing great.
Johnny Dawkins with the left hand on the drive won't go. Gilliam will whistle for the foul. That'll be his first. And Chicago now in a 16-2 run as they opened up a 22-point advantage. And it really hasn't been because of the crowd. I think it's because Chicago's playing better.
Execution. And what happened when they went to the substitutions, Chicago's bench was a whole lot better than Philadelphia's bench because the lead right now belongs to the second unit of Chicago. What they did, it was a 6-point game at the end of the first quarter.
Philadelphia shot only 1 foul shot. Chicago has shot 6. So it is a rather well-played game thus far. Pippen had 9 in the first. He has 12 for the game.
I want you to think about this, Ron, but I want you to think if there's any other team that you would rather have the 2 best players off of than Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Just think about that, and you can let me know later.
I'll let you know now. Philadelphia can't do anything right. They turn the ball over again. Chicago has it with 2:12 remaining in the first. Leading by 24.
You know what you really have to admire in this Chicago team is they took all the emotion of that pregame ceremony and they came out and they did their job. That's a mature team that can handle that because it's very difficult to play after that at that kind of ceremony.
4-on-1. Anderson to the hole with the right hand. He has 6. The lead is down to 22. Chicago shooting 61% for the game. Mark Randall, the rookie first-round draft pick for Chicago out of Kansas, set to check back in our check into the Bulls lineup. Michael hit from the outside.
Philadelphia scored 10 points this quarter, and Chicago has scored 28, if my math is correct.
Math is correct. Marty Aronoff, our crack statistician again this year.
That's easy for you to say.
I know. I only do this for a living. Gilliam has more passes to Chicago than he does to his teammates, unfortunately.
Here comes Mark Randall into the game. This will be an exciting time for him. His first pro game. Scottie Pippen's going to get a little bit of a rest.
Mark Randall played on the national championship team of Larry Brown and the Kansas Jayhawks. He's a 6'9", 235er. 24 years old, was the 26th pick overall out of Kansas. Says he understands his role on this team. He accepts it. He goes, I just want to play with these guys.
Philadelphia, personal foul, 33, Hersey Hawkins.
Hawkins picks up his second. And Michael Jordan will go to the line.
Michael Jordan to the line.
Jordan looking for his 6th consecutive scoring title. Wilt, of course, has the record at 7. Averaged 31.5 last year. And just a reminder, coming up at halftime, the Prudential halftime report. Ernie Johnson is in our studios in Atlanta with Dick Versace. We'll have scores and highlights, plus a look at the NBA Stay in School program. So stay tuned. Coming up in about 1 minute and 9 seconds. Versace. Versace, Ernie calls him now. I like that. Dick even had the tomahawk chop down in Atlanta in Game 3 or Game 5. He was rolling next to me.
That was fun. We went to Game 5. That was a tremendous event.
That was. You had the good seats, though. You sat with the vice president. Versace and I, we sat in the cheap seats.
Well, thanks to Ted Turner. I appreciate that. And Don McGuire.
Dawkins. Off the back of the iron. John Paxson got down court quickly. Hobson and Randall doesn't get it.
You know it's going well. Dennis Hobson hung in the air, no place to go, and finds Randall.
Paxson got down. He got down real quick line. Gilliam inside for 2.
Gilliam.
Armand now with 4.
See if Michael launches a quick 3.
Goes into 2, but you were right.
That's called trading 2 for 1. That's knowing the shot clock. Now, the difference in the first quarter, Philadelphia could have taken the last shot. They didn't. Chicago got a 3-point play. Now, Chicago gets 3 points. If they stop them, they get another chance. So in the last minute, or excuse me, the last few seconds of both quarters, it could be a 7-point differential.
Cartwright and Paxson come out as the clock goes down. The 3 on the way. They won't get it. Hobson loses it. To Barkley, 3-2 with 1.1. Charles puts a little exclamation on it. And that is the way the first half will end. It's a sold-out Chicago Stadium. What a first half for the Bulls. They can do no wrong. Michael misses his first 2 shots, hits his next 7, and the Bulls lead at 63-39. Ernie Johnson, Dick Versace are next from Atlanta.
And we're back. 63-39 Versace. Bulls by 24. What is up?
Too many new faces with the Sixers. You know, they missed Ricky Green, believe it or not, because I don't think Johnny Dawkins is ready. And then they've got Theron Mays, and they've got thrown in too many new faces.
And the Bulls, just same old, keep on keeping on. On the fashion front, by the way, folks, both Versace and I, giving 2 thumbs up to the new unis on the Sixers side. Back to these guys, Doug and Ron.
I don't know, Ernie. I think our kids could have come up with something comparable, let's say. Bulls went on a 32-14 run in that second quarter, and that gave them the big margin now. Michael Jordan is the minute man, a point a minute, 18 points, 18 minutes. We haven't talked much about him. That's because everybody else is playing so well. But it was very difficult first half for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Well, you know, they came out and played well initially, and then Chicago just put the clamps on them defensively, 11 turnovers. But I think when you talk about a rough first half, you talk about only 2 offensive rebounds for the 76ers, only 2 free throw attempts. Their starting backcourt shoots 2 for 10. They give up 24 points on the break, and only 2 players scored more than 4 points It was a rough first half, and I agree with what Dick Versace says. So many new faces, not much in the middle right now for Philadelphia. It's been a long half.
How about Scottie Pippen? 3 steals in that first 24 minutes.
Well, Scottie Pippen is now stealing entry passes into the post. He's laying off him with those long arms, getting the steals. He runs it out on the break, and quick move by Michael, and he finishes it off with a slam dunk. Here's Charles Barkley jumping into the air. Ball is tipped, and who's Johnny on the spot again? But Scottie Pippen, again, into the middle of the floor, creates, finds Horace Grant. This time Horace Grant for the easy dunk. Horace Grant with 4 field goals, 4 for 5. Michael Jordan and Paxson shoot 10 for 12 combined, and it's been all Chicago Bulls.
There's the matchup. 77 points for the 76ers backcourt. 36 for the Bulls, and the rebounding margin belongs decidedly.
Remember when we talked about before the game, though, Hersey Hawkins is one of the big scorers for this Philadelphia 76er team. But against Chicago, he's not, because Michael won't let him. That means someone else has got to pick up the pace. Charles Barkley had 16 points in the first half. Nobody else scored. Normally, Hawkins will give them 12, 13 points in the first half. That has not happened. No one else has picked up the pace.
Barkley shot 80%, 8 of 10 in that first half. The rest of the team just 11 of 30, which brings you back to the playoffs last year, which Barkley shot 64%, the others 40, and they lost. He needs a supporting cast, no question about it. Big men are out with Bol and Shackelford, and we'd be remiss without mentioning the fact that Charles' statement about Dave Hoppen being on this team, did that have any effect? Most of the players I talked to today said we didn't think anything about it, because Charlie's always saying stuff like that.
Now, if it would have been someone who normally doesn't say anything, it would have been all kind of ripples. Charles is always saying something outrageous. You just say, oh, that was Charles.
Cartwright, as he did in the Hall of Fame game, took the first shot, as he does here, the first. Now how important, we talked about the first 5 minutes of the ballgame. How about the second half now for Philadelphia? Do they have to make this run quickly?
Well, I will tell you this. Last year, the best quarter for the Chicago Bulls was the third quarter. That was their best quarter for the season, stat-wise. Let's see what happens tonight. Nobody protecting the backcourt.
Oh, watch this. Paxson has it swatted away by Hawkins. John had 3 layups, thought he could get maybe just one more out of this. 63-39 is our halftime. Was our halftime score, and it still is that count.
Here's the big double up by Cartwright. Someone's going to be open.
Shot clock at 7. Inside to Gilliam. He loses the handle, but we have a foul, and that'll be on Horace Grant. That should be his third.
Chicago's doing a good job rotating to Hersey Hawkins, chasing him off his jump shot, making him put it on the floor. He did create an opportunity for Armin Gilliam, but they're not giving him that little patented jump shot that he likes to shoot so well. In the preseason, he was unbelievable from the three-point line. Shot 12 for 21 from the three-point line.
Armin Gilliam out of Bethel Park High School in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. One of the great high schools. I had to say that. My mom and
Is
dad
that where you're from? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My mom and dad are watching. I got to make sure I put that in there.
That's fair.
I'll let you mention Duke just once, okay? How's that?
I'm going there tomorrow. Glad you mentioned that.
Bulls by 23. Jordan just levitates above Hersey Hawkins.
It's frightening. You know, we did not even talk about Michael Jordan in the first half. The man's got 20 points. Hersey Hawkins has 1 field goal. I mean, we haven't even talked about it. You think we're spoiled?
I think we are. He's hit his last 8 shots. Anderson cut off by Grant. Philadelphia looks a little disorganized offensively now, Doug. Their spacing's not very good. They're crowding different blocks. As the shot clock goes down,
I tell you what happens, Ron, also, too. In preseason, you take a look at a lot of other guys. You look at Theron Mays. You look at Jason Williams. You look at some of these like Kenny Payne, and you don't get your team in sync. And you get guys hurt. Look at this alley-oop. I mean, everything is working. But what happens is you don't play your starters that much. Barkley missed some games. Johnny Dawkins played them all. Hawkins missed some games. Gilliam missed some games. You don't have any continuity. Chicago has not missed a beat. They've lost no guys to injury, and you can see they're out of the gate quickly.
Only lost 20 games to player injuries last year as Gilliam's shot won't go down, which was the least in the NBA. Pippen's foul, that is his Chicago personal foul. Take a look at Jordan's pass on the other end.
Well, this is a great pass, but what about the finish? Look at Scottie Pippen. Now, one hand cradles it and lays it in the basket. This guy has established himself as one of the top 10 players in basketball. A lot of people talk about Scottie Pippen on the Olympic team. This guy is versatile. He can defend. He can score. He can now shoot. He is a tremendous basketball player.
It is a given that Michael Jordan is the best. Scottie Pippen is not far behind, though.
He's tremendous. He really, I cannot tell you how much this young guy has improved, and his best is still ahead of him.
Jordan takes it inside. How about his last 9 shots?
I'll tell you, the next big thing Jimmy Lynam's going to have to discuss, right? you see Johnny Dawkins just uncomfortable finishing right now. It's frustrating for him, but Jimmy Lynam's next major decision will be, we play at home tomorrow night. How much of a chance do I give our starters to get back in this game before I say, guys, I'm going to pull the plug, I'm going to think about tomorrow night. Now, that's not giving up, but what it does is it just says we ain't going to get it done tonight.
Dawkins can't finish again. Second time down the court. Bulls with a 3-on-3. Dawkins can't keep up with Pippen. Jimmy Lynam wants a timeout. We'll leave you with the crowd as the Bulls lead it by 28.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Bud Light, because everything else is just a light. And by GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
When you play the game and you're looking good, there's a Bud Light way and it's understood.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. There's everything else. It's just a light. Just a light. Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. Just a light. Everything else is just a light.
Colonel Richelieu, where are you? We're at Waterloo, and no, things are not okie-dokie here, except for my okie fan. I can hear you so well, I can almost see you. Do you have the army with you? Bring them here, please. Soon.
Buy yourself some time. Oki Cellular Phones.
Have you ever had one of those days?
At GMC Truck, our only business is trucks, and has been for over 80 years. A dedication to truck strengths and values to keep in mind. Because when you need to haul something, tow something, carry precious cargo, find new trails, or simply ride high and proud, there's nothing quite as strong as a truck. GMC Truck, the strength of experience.
Back in play as the Little Bulls leave the court. 8:45 left in the third, and the Bulls running away with it, 71-43. Barkley inside, has it swatted away handily. Pippen liked it, Cartwright liked it. There's the scoring. The last 22 minutes, it's reversed.
Let's see if they get Hersey Hawkins a jump shot off this inline out of bounds play. They really like to free him up. Let's see if Jason Williams gives him a good screen.
Double team over Barkley. He'll put up the prayer as the shot clock goes off. Now Philadelphia will have it on the violation, leading by 28. Jimmy Lynam trying to put something together, but you hit it on the head, Doug. When you don't have your starters all together during preseason, it's a bit difficult to start the season against the Bulls. Great look inside. Grant with the slam. Williams hit the foul.
Well, just a great pass by Michael Jordan. You read the double team so well. Horace Grant slashes to the open area. Barkley double teams, so Horace Grant goes to the open space. He gets away from Cartwright, so Jason Williams, one guy has to try to play two. They split. Jason Williams can't play them both. As a result, slam dunk, three-point play opportunity for Horace Grant. I think Horace Grant is one of the unsung guys on the Chicago team. You talk about Pippen, you talk about Jordan. Horace Grant is another guy that cannot lose to injury. They must keep those three guys healthy because when you do, they have speed, quickness, and size that's very difficult to match.
Hawkins, the spin move, little playground action, won't go. As Grant tips it to Cartwright, the outlet to Jordan. Pippen wants to use. Michael didn't give it up.
That's his first open jump shot.
And he was way short. It was a flat shot.
He shot it so quickly because he's been covered so quickly by the rotating defense. He was out of his rhythm. So, you know, the great thing about Jimmy Lynam is he's not going to panic in this game. You see Phil Jackson there, the Chicago coach. Jimmy Lynam is not going to read any more into this game than we got our butts kicked.
It's 82 games.
That's right. And we got to get our people back healthy. We got to get Shackelford. We got to get Bowl. We got to get some experience on this second unit because right now they just don't have enough horses. Let's be honest.
Well, Hawkins and Dawkins are 2 of 15 shooting, which doesn't help the matters much.
See Pippen against Johnny Dawkins. Someone's going to have to double team. They'll leave Paxson probably for a wide open three-point shot.
Just off to the left, Barkley outlet to Dawkins. Pippen cuts off the baseline. Anderson for 3. Williams did a nice job timing his rebound. He's got it. Williams now with 6.
Now this young man here could be a very important part of this Philadelphia team this year if he can play consistently. Jason Williams has got some size. He can shoot the ball, and he's big enough to score around the basket.
Pippen for 3. Anderson uses the right hand from the left side.
That's a nice play by Johnny Dawkins. He ran the break nicely, got it in the middle of the floor, found Ron Anderson for the driving layup. 3-on-2 fast break, one to perfection.
25-point lead as Dawkins now with 8 assists. Well, we've got some words being exchanged and a foul.
Anytime you play against Bill Cartwright, you're so used to the elbows, the kneecaps. I mean, he gets you with every part of his body, and it frustrates you. That time, Jason Williams said, okay, I'm going to smack you in the back. I'm going to take a foul. And Bill Card let him know that will not be tolerated again.
Williams down with 3 personal fouls. Jordan over Hawkins. He's got it, and he has the foul. And Hersey doesn't like the call.
Philadelphia, personal foul, 33, Hersey Hawkins.
Hawkins third.
The team's third.
Well, Michael Jordan just post a little bit here. Turn. Elevating on the jump shot. Gets him on the hand. 3-point play opportunity. So Michael's run the break. He's posted. He's done everything tonight quietly with the 24 points.
10 of 13 shooting. Minutes each of the last 5 seasons for Michael Jordan. That's a lot of basketball. Almost came up with a steal. Hawkins.
See, look at the score of the game, though, and Michael still won't let him score.
That's right.
When he plays Hersey Hawkins, he just does not let him do anything. Hersey had a couple good ball games last year, but for the most part, Michael totally dominates him. He just does not want to give him an inch.
Foul was on Grant. That is his 4th personal foul.
That's one of those. Michael's close, Horace Grant's close. Horace, that's your
Horace gets it. Stacey King says, as soon as there's a foul, he gets out of the way. He says he knows he's going to get called out.
Well, selective officiating.
That's right. Paxson, the pull-up from about 19, doesn't get it. Rebound Anderson. What a story for Ron Anderson. Didn't play high school ball. He was just playing real sandlot ball when somebody talked him into going to college at the age of 21 and playing.
Nice quick move by Johnny Dawkins. That was a nice play. That's a little visions of what Johnny Dawkins will be in a couple months when he can do that more consistently.
Dawkins 2 of 9 now. The lead is 25 with 5:22 left to be played in the 3rd quarter. Jordan for 3 doesn't get it. Grant comes out of the pack. Leading rebounder last year for the Bulls at 8.4 has 5 tonight.
Well, Charles Barkley got off to the great first quarter since then. Now he only has 16 points, so he's had 4 the rest of the game.
He had 4 in the 2nd quarter, hasn't scored here in the 3rd quarter. Barkley pushes off Grant, and he finally puts numbers on the board here in the 2nd half.
You can run that play in the NBA because you got to pull weak side help. You can bring two guys out above tip of circle.
Michael finally missed one. Stop the game, bronze the ball.
See, in college, you try to post a guy, or in high school, you just drop a guy way down on the weak side. You can't get that over the top pass. In the NBA, you pull the weak side, so that's a little bit different vision of basketball there in NBA style.
Here's our GMC scoreboard for tonight. I'd like to remind you, too, or I'd like to tell you that last year we brought you a lot of extra bonus coverage here on TNT, and we're going to continue that trend this year. And we'll be going to LA-Houston games coming up in just a couple of minutes. Able to see a lot of NBA action tonight here on TNT. Of course, our second game of our doubleheader, the Suns and the Sonics, with Pete Van Wern and Hubie Brown coming your way after this contest. Illegal defense. Phil Jackson, the only coach to have both a CBA and an NBA title, or his NBA championship ring when he played for the Knicks last year during the playoffs. So good luck with him. Williams now with 8. 23-point lead. This is the closest Philadelphia's been in a while. Biggest lead's been 31. Clipper with the air ball.
See what happens right now. You lose a little concentration. Chicago's lost a little bit of the edge. And if Philadelphia can get a couple good shots, they can get it down under 20. But right now you can see the edge is off Chicago. And it happens, Ron. You can't keep that. When you're up 25 points, it's very difficult to keep playing hard.
Williams has been the offensive threat so far for Philadelphia. He has 8 here in the second half, 10 for the game. And Chicago wants to talk about it. 3:27 left in the third quarter. The Bulls lead it 78-57. We'll be back to a sold-out Chicago stadium in a moment.
At GMC Truck, we've seen days like this for over 80 years. And have learned the value of a van that gives you the most room in its class. The added safety of 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. The traction of full-time all-wheel drive. And the feeling of security that can only come from a van that's built as strong as a truck. Safari from GMC Truck. More proof of the strength of experience.
Greg Lashutka, a no-nonsense agenda to crack down on crime, has earned him the support of the police officers of Columbus. His 4-point jobs plan is breaking new ground.
We have at least 4 or 5 labor unions that already endorsed Lashutka that has never endorsed a Republican for mayor in his town.
He listens, he's sensitive to the people, and when Greg Lashutka comes in, he can make things happen.
It's critical for the city of Columbus to have a mayor that understands the importance of small business.
Greg Lashutka for mayor.
With today's lineup of new cars, it's important to shop carefully and compare features, like 24-hour roadside protection anytime, anywhere, courtesy transportation provided by your dealer, and a 30-day satisfaction guarantee that lets you bring your new car back for any reason. Only one line of cars has the edge on owner satisfaction, the Oldsmobile Edge, and it comes with every 1992 Olds. If you're looking for long-term satisfaction from your next new car, look for the Edge, the Oldsmobile Edge.
Philadelphia on a 14-4 run, 8 of those points by Williams, but they still trail by 21. We'd like to remind you immediately following tonight's game, we still have more NBA action coming your way. Phoenix Suns and Seattle Sonics. Johnson and Pierce, Pete Van Wern and Hubie Brown standing by for that ball game, coming up when this one is completed. Charles Barkley, 12 first-half points, only 2 here in the second half.
Little trap by Philadelphia trying to make something happen.
Jordan, offensive foul. Dick Clavetta, the bravest man in this arena.
Well, who do you want mad at you, Michael Jordan or Charles Barkley?
I'll go with Michael.
All right.
Good point.
I guess you got Michael at 18,000 and Charles by himself, so it's a big difference.
That's right. 3:10 left to be played in the third quarter. The Bulls lead at 78-57. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson in our studio in Atlanta with some bonus coverage. EJ?
Thanks, Ron. So the defending champs, the Bulls, have things well in hand. How about the Western Conference reigning champions, the LA Lakers? They've got a fight on their hands as they play at the Summit against the Houston Rockets. Bonus coverage comes your way with Chick Hearn and Stu Lance.
Byron Scott in the ball game's got 12 points. He's high for his club. 15 points, high for the Rockets. Olajuwon. Now it's 51-44. 48 seconds left to play here in the first half. You can hear Dunleavy out in front hollering, "Get up, get up, get up." Here's a dribble drive by Maxwell. He didn't get up that high. shot no good. The rebound is to AC. AC trying to get out of the backcourt, gives the ball to Sedale Threet. Sedale Threet comes in deep at the three. Well, he stopped at the three-point line. I thought he was going to penetrate, but he didn't. Pass goes into Worthy. Worthy double teamed by Maxwell and Bullard. Out to Sedale. Over to Green. He sets. He fires and misses badly. The rebound is to Vlade Divac. He brings it out in front once more to Sedale with 20 seconds. The 24-second clock should be turned off. It's not. But it should be turned off, Stu.
It should.
13 seconds left.
Second time the Rockets have gotten away with an illegal defense.
We got the ball to Sedale Threet. Sedale with 7 seconds left. To Green. 17-footer by AC is good. 4 seconds left. The ball brought into Maxwell. Think he won't put it up from someplace. Stolen by Worthy. To Threet. He fires at the buzzer. Didn't get it. Would not have counted anyway. So that saved a broken heart, if nothing else. Hey, I think the Lakers are pretty...
So Mike Dunleavy's troops have closed the gap. They trail 51-46 at the half, playing without Magic Johnson, who's back in Los Angeles with the flu. So they're down by 5 at the half. Now let's go back to Chicago Stadium, the Bulls and the Sixers. Ron?
Thank you, Ernie. Anderson just completed a three-point play for Philadelphia, and that cuts the Bulls' lead down to 20. We've got a 20-second timeout by Chicago with 2:05 left to be played in the third, 80-60. Now, if you're Phil Jackson, you have the big lead. Doug, you see it slip away, but they're still in control of this ball game. It just comes a time you have to settle them down a little bit.
Well, I think the one thing you just, guys, let's put this team away. Let's not let them keep hanging around. I mean, 20 points, if you want to call that hanging around. Let's put this team away. We play Milwaukee tomorrow night on the road. Let's get some rest. We've got a long season ahead of us. Let's not keep this game into balance. Let's put this thing away right now. We got 2 minutes here in the third quarter. Let's see if we can push this up to 28, 29 points, and then this game is over with.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. Tipped in all the way. I will describe that slam. I have the express written consent to do that. 22-point margin.
Nice move.
Reverse. We'll jump it up. Williams and Grant. Horace wanted a foul.
Nice move by Ron Anderson here on the baseline. Reverse spin move, but he puts the wrong spin on the ball, so it spins back to him instead of going off the glass. Jump ball, Chicago controls.
Philadelphia, of course, lost to Chicago in the playoffs 4-1. Foul will be on Hawkins, reaching over the back of Michael. That'll be his 4th personal foul.
Little set play Chicago runs. Michael normally comes off a double screen. He starts to go hard to the double screen, reverses it, steps back underneath. They find him. You can post him off that many times. You can find him for an easy layup. That time, the quick foul. Chicago will inbound sideline.
And Mitchell Wiggins comes into the lineup, replacing Hersey Hawkins, the 6th-year pro out of Florida State.
Former Chicago Bulls.
Right.
Michael got away with a little walk.
Everybody called it except the 3 men in blue pants.
The move was so good you couldn't take it away.
And 2, way short. Jordan with the rebound. 4-on-2. To Grant.
Pull the plug. Somebody talked about blowing it away now. That's 26. It goes from 20 to 26. They get a stop here, and it's that 28-point lead we talked about.
We're into the basting process. The cooking is done.
Michael's going to go for a quick one. He'll shoot a 3. Get up on him, Mitchell. There it is.
26, and it stays that way.
You got to know the clock.
You've got to know it. 3-second difference between the shot and the game. That's the game clock in the lower right-hand portion of your screen.
Now, see, Johnny Dawkins used to isolate here, and with his quickness, blow right by John Paxson. Someone had to help, and he was a free and outside jump shooter.
We waited to see if Paxson would look away. Take it inside. Wiggins. We have a whistle and a foul. Phil Jackson doesn't like it. Lane Reichelt gives him a look. Cartwright's first.
Casey King returns to the lineup for the Bulls. Also number 10, B.J. Armstrong.
Casey King, B.J. Armstrong check back in for Chicago. Michael Jordan stays into the lineup.
Wiggins at the line, he shoots 2.
Wiggins at the line for a pair. Man sat out about a year and a half back in January of 87 to July of 89. Craig Hodges comes in. Was a starter for Houston back in 89-90. 66 games where he averaged better than 15 a contest. He gets the second. Shot on the way. The 2 won't go. Jordan with the rebound. His time runs out. Almost gets it.
At the end of the third quarter.
3 quarters have been played. Philadelphia made up a little ground, but not enough. 12 minutes left to be played. The Bulls lead at 86-61. We'll be back.
Now time to play Leto.
Around 1900, GMC Truck built America's first gasoline-powered truck and went on to make trucks our only business. A heritage of trucks that, some say, worked a little harder, lasted a little longer. And that's still true today in a truck that gives you the most standard payload and the strongest resale of any full-size pickup. Sierra from GMC Truck, more proof of the strength of experience.
Hey, Frank, we're on a menu.
Coming right up.
You are about to witness a revolution in business communications. At just one touch of a button, you can add photographs to anything, from memos to menus. Anyone can do it. Any business can afford it. Introducing the Apple One-Step Scanning System.
Hey, this is nice.
Thank you. It's a better way to make yourself understood.
Which clamp is faster?
An old-fashioned screw-type clamp.
Or the revolutionary quick grip bar clamp?
Let's watch closely.
Here they go.
And it's over. Amazing.
Oh.
Now for the instant replay.
Hey, look at that. One finger on the quick-release trigger and the bar slides right into position.
And there, he's tightening the clamp by merely squeezing the quick grip handle. And it's done. You know, unlocking the clamp again was a very nice touch.
The quick grip bar clamp, available wherever quality tools are sold.
86-61 is our score. The Bulls by 25. Philadelphia was the only team in the NBA to have a winning record, but where they had opponents score more than they did.
This graphic will not be a problem tonight. This is not going to be a close game, obviously, but 14 overtime games, you see the differential in scoring 20 games, 3 points or less. When I talked to Jimmy Lynam yesterday, he wants to get the scoring up to about 110 if he can. They can't continue to be in a war every single night. The team got tired. They faded at the end of the season. Looking at their bench right now, though, that's going to be difficult for them to score that kind of points right now. They just do not have the firepower, and it's going to be a tough call for Jimmy.
Mays with 2. That is his first 2 as an NBA player. The former CBAer gets in the books as Michael Jordan and the rest of the starters, except for Pippen, sit down.
This is Theron Mays at his best. He's a slasher, he's a driver, takes it to the basket. Hangs, makes a tough shot off the glass. Not a great shooter right now, a little erratic, but very, very capable of big nights. It'll be interesting to watch his development, because in letting Ricky Green go, this will be their backup point guard.
Averaged 15.5 in exhibition. Played in Sioux Falls. I guarantee they didn't have a crowd like this in Sioux Falls last year. He was an excited young man prior to tonight's game. Gilliam with a rebound. Anderson. Mays tries the baseline. King cuts it off. Livingston blocks the shot. Livingston, who had 43 blocks last year, has one tonight. Anderson triggers the inbounds pass to Gilliam. Talk about more production from Armin Gilliam. He only has 8 tonight, Doug. Jimmy said he needed more out of him.
He's got to give him rebounds. He's got to give him an inside presence, a guy that can score and play big inside. And he's not doing that right now. The label on him is he's a finesse player and a big power body. And they need him. Rick Mahorn is not there any longer. Mike Jaminski is gone. Those two guys gave them a couple tough guys on the inside. They don't have that anymore.
Armin only has 2 boards tonight. Averaged just over 7 last year. Doing a little bit on the offensive end right now.
He also got Cliff Levingston with the off arm right the elbow. Cliff wants it back. He wants a little payback.
20-point margin. 10:25 left to be played in the ball game. Bulls looking to pick up where they left off last year. Pippen just went right around everyone and threw it away. And what a quick move by Pippen. He wants the foul.
See, someone's got to stay back, though. Scotty was all alone here. They get down the floor.
Anderson for 2, and it's an 18-point ball game. Anderson now with 15.
This is what we talked about in the first half, that for Philadelphia to have a chance to win this game, they must beat the second unit. Remember in the second quarter, Chicago outscored them 32-14. A lot of that was with the second units playing against each other. Right now, they've made a little dent in this lead, but if Chicago has a little bit of a vulnerability, it's the fact their second unit still doesn't stand up on its own. You need a Pippen or a Jordan out there with them right now.
We're looking at a possible 16-point advantage. Chicago led by as many as 31. Anderson, again, this time he's way short. Rebound goes over the head of Gilliam. Armstrong and Hodges down court. Mays had to do the right thing. He had to grab Hodges. Good foul.
Philadelphia personal foul.
You see the Chicago Bulls huddling up right now, talking to each other like, guys, come on now, we're getting sloppy, letting this game become a little bit more competitive right now. Let's execute.
Well, last year, Craig Hodges had 27 free throw attempts. He made 26 of them. And he gets the first one this year. 7 points now for Hodges. Played college ball at Long Beach State under Tex Winter, the assistant coach now of the Bulls. Next game, don't forget, Phoenix and Seattle coming your way with Pete Hubie. Stay tuned for that ball game. And, of course, we'll keep you updated on all the scores and highlights with Ernie and Dick back in our studios.
I think that Seattle team might surprise a few people this year. They've got some real talent.
Chicago putting out a little pressure again. Mays very quick.
That's a tough shot. See, no one's back to protect back.
Nobody helped him.
When he penetrates like that and gets in the lane, someone's got to cover behind him. He was able to speed-wise get back into play. But when you go in there and shoot those leading shots and you're the point guard, you better have a couple guys cover back, because against a team like Chicago, they'll throw long and make you pay for that kind of mistake.
Well, Ron Anderson sits down. Kenny Payne, the third-year pro out of Louisville, a first-round pick back in '89, the 19th player chosen overall, wearing number 21, checks in. Pippen loses the handle. Williams leads the break. Good bounce pass to Payne. He can't catch up to it as Hodges screens him off.
Let me tell you, a lesson to young players out there. Catch the ball in the air if you possibly can. Ron, when you throw a bounce pass that skips like that, it gets overspin and you can never catch up to it. So the young kids, pick up the ball in the air. Don't let the ball bounce, because normally it's going to be a turnover.
Payne had Scottie Pippen's jersey, almost took it off. No foul, but Pippen does get the basket. Pippen now with 20 for the ball game. We've got a timeout. 8:57. Philadelphia pulled within 18, but they're back down by 22. We'll be back.
A blood oath. It's evil. A diabolical curse. And Sherlock Holmes is on the case.
Quick, Watson, after him!
Charlton Heston, the Crucifer of Blood. A TNT exclusive premiere. Monday at 8 Eastern.
If you thought a really powerful business computer was way out of your reach, we've got news for you. Introducing the affordable Macintosh Classic 2.
He's back. This time we get him. STP gas treatment. Cleans intake valves and fuel injectors to help engines run better. STP, the edge.
This is Control. Go ahead.
We've got trouble.
What's the point of origin?
Japan.
Stand by. I'm patching you through to Command Center.
We've got to find it.
We'll have it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's too late.
Did you inform headquarters?
They're working on it. Hold on. You've got something. Quick, check the vehicle ID number.
That's it. With more parts for more import cars than anybody else.
We got it.
Napa is a domestic solution to an international problem.
Saturday, the Alabama Crimson Tide, number 9 in the nation, and putting their SEC title hopes on the line in a crucial conference showdown. Mississippi State at Alabama, live at 12:30 Eastern Saturday on TBS.
And here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. The rebound, Chicago all over Philadelphia. And the front court passing, how about assists? 15-5, Doug.
Scottie Pippen with 6, Charles Barkley with only 1. Let's see, Hersey Hawkins, normally a guy that makes a lot of those outside jump shots. Tonight, that has not happened for him. What, 1 field goal for Hersey?
Mm-hmm. 1 field goal. That came in the second quarter. He is 1 of 8 for the ballgame.
And Johnny Dawkins, I think, has hit 1 outside jump shot. So the normal spot-up shooting has not been there. Credit to Chicago defense.
Wiggins, the foul away, way short. Here comes Pippen. He's got 1 man to beat.
Scottie's got a lot of turnovers tonight. That's got to be 6, 7, 8 turnovers for him.
We'll have our man Marty check on that.
Nice move.
6 turnovers for Scottie as Mays gets his second NBA hoop. He now has 5 points for the game. With Mays and Wiggins, Brian Oliver is going to be spending a lot of time sitting on a bench this year for Philadelphia. Hodges for 2.
There he is again. Mr. Consistency. What about the show last year in the three-point shooting? 19 straight.
Mays hasn't been a shot he doesn't like as Gilliam gets the basket and he draws the foul from Cliff Livingston.
Chicago personal foul 53.
Now that's what Armand Gilliam's got to do consistently. He's got to get to the board. He's got to rebound the ball. He's got to power it back, get the score, and the three-point play opportunity. No one checks him out, makes a strong move. Now this is garbage time. So this is going to go down, and you're going to pick up the stat sheet tomorrow. You're going to say X number of points, rebounds. They need this from him when the game is on the line. That's when they need it from him.
That was Gilliam's first offensive rebound as he completed the three-point play, a 19-point advantage for Chicago. Bank right around Mitchell Wiggins. Bank is open. BJ makes a deposit.
Now that's the kind of shot you like to teach a young player. Pump fake, get him in the air. You get the angle. Kiss it off the glass softly. That was nice by BJ.
5 of 7 shooting now for Armstrong, who shot just 48% last year.
See, Theron Mays takes a lot of wild shots. And what does it lead to? Fast break.
Cliff, no place to go, loses it. Says to Billy Sarr, I think you got me. Williams just hammered an offensive foul. Use that left hand.
See, you got to love Scottie Pippen. It's a 21-point ball game. 7 minutes to go. Pippen gives the assist on the other end. The shot does not go, and he's the one that hustles back to prevent the layup on the other end.
And we're going to bring you some more bonus coverage tonight. Pat Riley and the Knicks take on Matty Gukas and the Orlando Magic. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, 21-point Chicago lead. You're anxious to see that, aren't you, Doug? Knicks and Orlando.
I can't wait.
I bet you can.
Well, Stacey King, it's going to be tough for him to ever play here. Because, you know, once he got a little selfish last year, here's Armand Gilliam, there's 5 quick points in garbage time. But last year when he spoke out about being traded, not getting to play, and didn't go to practice one day, and the team was doing so well, the fans are not going to forget that.
No. And I had the first game here, I think you and I had it, right after he made the comments, and it was just 17,500 booing him.
You know what happens? You try to win them over in one night, and it's not going to happen. You do it consistently by playing well. When you come off the bench, you do what it takes, you rebound, and then hopefully in time, they'll take you back. Will Perdue, his first couple of years here, was booed unmercifully. Last year he played well. It was very important in playoff time, and now the fans like Will Perdue. It takes time. You can't get it back in one day.
There's Perdue set to check in. How about Pippen tonight? 22 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, 6 turnovers. But we won't mention that.
The thing I like about Scottie is that he's improved his free throw shooting. Used to be you know, a high 60, mid 60 free throw shooter. Now with him getting to the free throw line, the way he slashes to the basket, it's a weapon.
New long-term contract for Scottie Pippen, whose secret ambition, believe it or not, is to be a dog breeder. Payne has it swatted away, but we have a foul with 6:20 left to be played. Bulls lead at 98-77. Michael Jordan sitting out this fourth quarter. Pippen will finally take a seat on the bench.
See, let me tell you something. The difference in this Chicago team right now is the fact that you can rest Michael Jordan because Pippen has become so great that he provides that stability to the second unit. It's going to save Michael a lot of wear and tear on his body during this season.
And he'll still play a lot of minutes, but right now the Bulls in control. Only 6:20 left.
Ford Trucks, the best never is. Ford Trucks.
Listen, someone in the truck should be just as comfortable as someone in a car. So our newly designed 92 Ford full-size pickup has a totally new interior. And they're the only full-size pickups that offer power lumbar seats. Sure, we build tough trucks, but we also build in a lot of comfort.
More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
My father's my hero. He's a special person. He taught us to work hard in school, and to respect all people, and to love Columbus.
The accident that almost took his life made him an even better person and made us an even closer family.
Our father is Ben Espy. He's running for mayor to make a difference. He's made a difference in our lives.
Ben Espy for mayor. He'll make a difference. The judicial process can be confusing, even misleading. But only one judge, Tom Martin, is the highest-rated incumbent judge. Judge Martin scored highest in the Columbus Bar Association performance poll. Judge Martin is preferred by more than 5-1 over his opponent. Judge Martin, police-endorsed, firefighter-endorsed Navy veteran.
I'm Judge Martin. I'm proud to have been elected before. I need your vote again. Thank you.
Ernie Johnson back with you. We'll be going back to the Chicago Stadium in just a few minutes. But first, a great finish developing at Boston Garden. The Celtics lead Charlotte by 3 points with under 10 seconds to go. Let's get the call from Steve Martin and Jerry Valancourt.
You got two shooters and a power post.
Anthony Frederick.
Corner.
Here is Chapman for three. Misses off the front of the rim. 3 seconds left. He just throws it at the basket on the sideline and gets buried by Larry Bird. So Rex will be going up for two, but only 1.4 seconds remain.
Very smart foul by Larry Bird, because all you can get out of this is two. Bird was aware of the score and the time on the clock.
Now the Hornets are... Alan Bristow and Bill Hanslick are telling Rex Chapman, you make the first one, call a time. Or make them both call time, obviously. Here's Chapman going to the line. Hornets down by 3 with 1.4 seconds left. Rex misses. Hornets have to call the time here as Parrish comes back into the ball game.
See, now that was a tough miss, because if you make both, you can set up a defense to play the turnover, get your layup or the foul, and you got a shot. Interesting rule, though, the Trent Tucker rule. If there was less than 1 second on the clock, no way you win the ball game. Remember the play with Trent Tucker of the Knicks when he got it off with less than a second to go. So that just magnifies the importance of Chapman's free throws.
111-108, 1.4 seconds left to go.
And you wonder now, why can't you win the game when there's less than a tick on the clock? Because the interpretation is they don't think you can catch it and get the shot off in time to beat the clock.
That's why the
clock... I think the magic number is like 3.5 on the clock.
Right. That's why the clock is broken down even deeper than it is right now in the final minute of play. It's supposed to be broken down, in the final minute of play, it's supposed to be broken down into thousands.
You know, when you look at the game, Steve, and you break it down and you see how those missed free throws really came back to haunt the Hornets, because they gave you such a great effort down the stretch to generate the comeback we spoke about that could very easily happen. They worked so hard to come back. They did it, did what they had to do, get to the free throw line. They just couldn't finish.
And against a team like Boston, with people like Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Reggie Lewis, part of the new guard, with the Celtics on the floor. That's a very respectable achievement when you consider this team is only been playing this style of ball for a little less than a month. It's new to them. There are adjustments to be made. And if they can survive a November schedule that sees them play 20% of their games, they just might be on to something. Obviously, they've got to feel comfortable with what they did with Larry Johnson.
Well, Larry Johnson's maturity, his experience, and his basketball IQ, you can see his just fundamentals down low of asking for the ball. Now, that had to hit the rim.
And the Hornets run out of time. As Larry Bird runs into front court, the Celtics survive the Hornets on opening night. Final score 111 to 108. As the Celtics...
That is bonus coverage here on TNT. Alan Bristow's Charlotte Hornets play him tough at the Garden, but fall by 3. Larry Johnson, by the way, had 14. Now back to Chicago.
Thank you, Ernie. With 4:15 remaining in the fourth, Cliff Livingston has just given the Bulls a 102-79 lead. Roger can bring you the Charlotte-Boston final. We'll keep you updated on New York and Orlando momentarily. And our bonus coverage continues here on TNT. Inside Oliver, who was checked into the lineup with his first field goal of 91-92, and he gets the foul.
Chicago personal foul 53. Cliff Livingston, his fourth.
That's Livingston's fourth personal foul, and at the line of the league, Brian Oliver out of Georgia Tech. Second round pick last year, a 32nd player chosen overall. Weren't sure if they wanted him to play point, shooting guard, or where.
I remember watching him at the ACC tournament his senior year. He had a tremendous ACC tournament for Georgia Tech. Playing on a broken foot at the time, was the MVP of the tournament. Just played super.
Mark Randall, the rookie, to Purdue. Purdue with 4, the lead 104-81. Inside of 3.5.
See, Brian Oliver right now has got one thing on his mind. He's going to put the ball on the floor, and he's going to try to take it to the basket. You've got to develop a medium-range jump shot in this game because there's too many big people in there, Ron. You've got to be able to put it on the floor, pull up, and shoot about a 10, 12-foot jump shot. In this area, he's got to drive it, be able to pull up, and take a little jump shot.
Dave Hoppin's shot is blocked, the fifth-year pro out of Nebraska.
You know, we've got an interesting graphic here that maybe we can get here in a minute to show what the defending champions have done the following year. We see Hoppin, Stacey King with the foul. But later on, we'll show you what the defending champions have done the year after they won the championship record-wise. Here we go. We see in 87, the Lakers lost 3 less. In 88, the Lakers 5 less. Pistons 4 less last year, or the year before 9 less, and now the Bulls. So we'll see what Chicago, after the 61-win season, does the year after winning the championship.
That's interesting.
I think they're going to be able to match it because I see the Eastern Conference being very, very weak this year. I don't see a lot of good teams. The power is in the West, as Hubie Brown had talked about, and I think Chicago has a great chance if they stay healthy to better their last year's record. You know, Boston now, they go to Boston next week. D. Brown is out, so they're going to really miss him. It's a chance to steal a game on the road. They go to West early. They're playing very well right now, and there's a great chance they could really get out of the gate quickly.
104-82 is our score. 3:05 left to be played. Hobson, who had an excellent preseason, regaining the confidence that was not part of his game last year.
Well, he had a gimpy knee last year, and he just wasn't able to finish anything.
King tries to keep it alive. Williams grabs control with 2:40 left to play.
Right now,
screaming for the ball.
Everybody's screaming for it. It's like, hey, get me on the books.
I know. Up, picks the pocket of Hobson. And Williams was wide open, and Mays takes it himself. Williams was standing there.
I got to get you in tune to garbage time. Okay?
Yeah.
You're open, but you take the shot. You go to the guy and go, sorry, I missed you. I'll get you next time.
2:26 left. Bulls 104-82. Speaking of garbage time, here's Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Ernie?
Gee, thanks, Stu, I think. More bonus coverage here on TNT. Let's see what's up with Pat Riley and the Knicks. Riley making his debut as the Knicks coach down in Orlando against the Magic and having to try to fight from behind. Let's turn it over to Marv Albert, John Andres.
Mark Akers sits down. Crowd responding to the hustle of Akers.
Akers and Kite both doing a good job of making Ewing go out that extra step or two. They're very physical.
Mason backing in was hit. Continues to get the playing time and at the expense of Charles Oakley.
And the Knicks continue to try and pour that ball inside.
Terry Catlett replacing Jeff Turner, who leads with 6. Knicks down by 9, 4:35 to go in the 4th. Nice music in the background, John.
The Green Hornet.
Anthony rejected by Anderson. Good play by Skiles, banking it off the leg of McDaniel.
So Pat Riley trailing in his debut 94-85. Remember John McLeod, when he began his short coaching career with the Knicks, they also played Orlando at the Garden and lost. Same thing could happen tonight. Back to more garbage time in Chicago.
Such a nice way of putting it. 1:10 left, 108-86.
Was he over in Paris for the McDonald's Open?
I think so. Well, he could have been worse. Outside, Hobson doesn't go. The only bull that is yet to taste the scorebook is Mark Randall. Everybody for Chicago has played and they have scored except for Randall. Payne, the running right-hander, drops.
Come on, BJ. You got to get Mark Randall a shot here now.
And I think the crowd knows it. That's the game clock. Here's Randall.
Mark, get a little selfish here now.
They're saying shoot it.
Get a little selfish. There you go.
He doesn't get it. Rebound to King. Has it slapped away by Hoppin. He'll get another chance. Dave Hoppin, the only player to ever have his jersey retired in Nebraska. King, the turnaround, drains it. He has 6, and it looks like Randall won't get in the books. He'll have to wait for another night.
Yeah, there's still a couple more possessions yet.
Garbage time. I'll get it right.
I got to get you going here.
Think about garbage time here.
Here we go.
There we go.
Here's another one.
Randall's running down the middle.
Come on, BJ.
He's standing underneath with 2 seconds. Armstrong for 3 doesn't get it, and that is it. Game number 1 of the 91-92 season is over, and it is a Bull victory. The final over Philadelphia, 110-90. We'll be back.
You've got to want a good education.
Oh, that's one thing that you really need. If you give it 100% every day, you're going to come out on top.
If you want it bad enough, and you're willing to make the sacrifices to get there, you can get there.
Stay in school. It's your best move.
There was a time when aerodynamic design and agile handling would have been unheard of in a car this roomy. A time when a V8 that's more powerful and more efficient would have been simply inconceivable. But that was then, and this is now. The new Ford Crown Victoria. Have you ever wished the traditional could become the exceptional? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Okay, so I paid a little more to stay in this motel. But hey, it's got this lovely pool.
Why pay for a pool you can't use? Next time, hit the roof. Red Roof Inns.
You know, my mom says you can get a really bad burn on a day like this.
Yo, Strictly Business. Check it out. It's about straight-up homies, suits. We've never been on Harlem before. And flying girls. It's a hip-hype type comedy. Bet.
Strictly Business, rated PG-13. Sneak preview Saturday, November 2nd.
110-90 is our final score. The Chicago Bulls open the 91-92 season with a very impressive win and a very impressive start. Scottie Pippen, 23 points tonight. Scottie, You had the big emotional ring ceremony, but you guys kept up that intensity throughout the game.
Well, it was great. It was great. You know, that was a big problem going into the game. We didn't think we was going to be able to stay focused and keep our mind concentrated on what we had to do tonight. And it was good that we came out and kept our mind focused and won this big game.
Scotty, you emerged as one of the game's great players now, and you know the Olympic selection, all these kind of things. Last year, the NBA championship. It's been a whirlwind year for you. Talk to us a little bit about what it's been like for Scottie Pippen over this last 12 months.
Well, first of all, Doug, I think it's come from your great coaching, but I just think, you know, over the last few months and preseason, I've really worked hard in the offseason to try to make progress and make myself the best that I could be. And, you know, these last few months has really been great for me. I've got a lot of things accomplished over the last few months, and I'm just proud that, you know, it was a team effort instead of just one individual.
Is it fair to say that with the emergence of Scottie Pippen, that you have given Phil Jackson the luxury of resting Michael Jordan a lot more now because you can stabilize that second team out there?
Well, yeah, I feel like it. I feel like Phil feel a lot comfortable with me on the court because he know I'm going to find Craig and BJ spotting up for their shots. So I feel great playing with those guys, and I'm helping them to learn as well as them helping me to learn.
Scotty, all the Bulls are talking this year about how they're foregoing all personal goals this year. But don't you have a personal goal for the All-Star team because of what many felt you were snubbed last year on being on the team?
Well, yeah, I think that's my main goal, but I'm not going to go out the way to try to do anything to disrupt the team. I would love to be an all-star player, and, you know, that's my main focus is really just stay healthy and have a good season. I think everything will take care of itself.
Scotty, is it also fair to say that you guys, although teams are going to come out and now you are the world champions, are going to really come after you, I really believe that your experience growing up with this team, you've always played to packed houses because of Michael Jordan. This is not really going to be anything new for you guys.
I don't think so. I don't think we're going to get any kind of shock. I mean, every team comes out and play our stuff because of Michael Jordan, because we're the Chicago Bulls, and we get sellouts everywhere we go. So we feel like, you know, we're going to get the same kind of competition every time we hit the court, and we just got to be ready to play. Scottie
Pippen, excellent job tonight. 23 points, 8 rebounds. Thanks for stopping by. What a way to begin the season.
Thanks a lot.
Scottie Pippen as the Chicago Bulls win it tonight, the final 110-90. We'll be back to Chicago Stadium in a moment to wrap things up. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.